Welcome to the 611 Films YouTube channel. We are back in 99. My name is David Groves as one of your hosts. And with me as always,
Neil McKay. Welcome back.
We're doing Run Lola Run, a German film that actually came out in Germany in 98, but we're fudging the numbers because in the US it was 99. It came out right in January. But I hadn't seen it until I got the DVD.
Today it's a 99 movie, so.
Absolutely. But I remember seeing it. I was on I think the biggest thing for me was in 2000 or 2000. Like I started my DVD buying spree, going to Best Buy or finding something just interesting. I had a buddy in my fraternity, kind of like a hookup, where you get like 10, 15% off or something. And we just go there randomly on Fridays or Saturdays or something and just peruse. Now they're getting rid of DVDs at Best Buy pretty soon. But I remember just buying, and it was just one of those Saturday nights watching. I was like, this is super fun. It's just a fun, cool movie.
Yeah, it was. So I saw it. Something either DVD. I don't think I saw it in a theater. I didn't even know it was out in a theater by us, or just kind of. I saw it, blew me away. I loved it. It as and is kind of got a lot of these things that I always would. This is like the kind of movie I would want to make. Like it's like fast paced, like cut, music stuff, just going. And just kind of like these crazy turns of events.
Sure.
However, I feel like there's just like a tale of two. It's like I saw it then, and I just saw it a couple of days ago. It just happened to be on, I don't know, one of my streaming channels. And I was like, oh, we're going to talk about this. So let me just go ahead and watch it. Sure. And it's like a real quick movie. It's like 80 minutes. So, and I was just like, wow, this is like so underwhelming to me compared to what I remembered it as. Like, it was just weird. Yeah. It was just like, I did not like, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And I was like, oh, really? I was like blown away by this. Like, this is so kind of like,
I think, yeah. Well, look, hey, at the time, I also rewatched it, and I had it on DVD, and I followed Tom Tykwer, Franco Potente, who then went on to do Bourne stuff.
Yeah.
They had, Tom Tykwer worked a lot with the Wachowskis and writing stuff for them. But I don't really know.
They did the Cloud Atlas thing, which was kind of a mess, but...
Yeah.
He did like some really cool stuff
right
early on. Like after this, he did a Cate Blanchett movie called Heaven, which was like pretty wild.
I've heard of it. Never saw it.
I saw that. That had some. I mean, he has like really cool. Like once he started getting money, like he had some really cool shots and some really cool like things going on.
Right.
And he was always good with like the music and stuff. So it was very exciting to see like him and the Wachowskis team up, but then it was just sort of like, oh,
I haven't heard. Well, I don't know what he's done again, or I think maybe there was some TV stuff in the US. Maybe he's
they did that. Sense8, I think, is the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. I think
I've seen a couple episodes. That's pretty. That's pretty cool. Like, but the Cloud Atlas I know was just like. So
yeah, well, very cool sensibilities with the faster pace. They were more into like they had just done Bound and going into Matrix and all that stuff. A different sort of idea with Run Lola Run. Maybe that U.S. audiences though had never seen, which was sort of the three stories. And it would be the best way to describe it is like like a Groundhog's Day, but it only happens 3 times.
Sort of, yeah. It is kind of like it has that like I don't know, like you remember that Gwyneth Paltrow movie Sliding Doors, kind of like that whole like what if you did this, and then it kind of went. I think I really dug that concept at the time, but seeing it now, it just felt kind of like I don't know, just random. Like okay, she runs by this one like the guy on the bike, and then each time like his story changes, but it's like. What? Like it was so radically different. Like in one, he gets married, and the other, he's like he dies of a heroin overdose. And it's like, how can you, because of like, this girl passing you by on the street? Like what? Like it was just
I think it was done really well. And I'll say this: I don't know if there was an Oliver Stone thing too, with jumping from. Film cameras, then DV, then black and white, then let's do animation.
Yeah.
Like a Natural Born Killers. I feel like that was a big influence for this movie of just trying to keep that pace really wild and crazy.
Yeah,
and
this was like a low budget.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone. Like it had, you could tell it was very like grainy DV kind of stuff, and they didn't have a lot of money. But yes,
Right.
I think that's why I gravitated towards it a lot, because it reminded me of that like fast cut edit. Like you said, animation, film stock, like all these things, black and white, color.
And I think we were, and dude, I think at that time, with Marvel movies, action movies, everything's cut a mile, the John Wick, all that stuff. Yeah, it like throughout these last 20 some years, it's desensitized us. So watching this feels slow at this point. This kind of movie.
Well, so and I mean, I agree for sure. I think we've come a little bit like, this was very groundbreaking for sure at the time, the style and everything. But I think my issue with it this time around was it was more to me style over substance. Like if you really look at it, there's not much of a story. Like I mean, you have these like random like, okay, this could happen to these like tertiary characters, but like who cares? Like as far as like her and the boyfriend and getting the money and everything, they don't really go into it too much. I mean, like I said, it's already a
couple those interstitials where they're in bed talking to each other,
right?
But it's a lot of kind of fluffy dialogue that
like
I felt, it doesn't move the plot forward, and I don't like or dislike. I'm not getting much out of these conversations.
Yeah, it seems like they could have gotten. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird thing. Like they were going into this like love story thing, but it was kind of like, oh, we just need like a transition, so we're gonna have them talking in bed. And I was like, and then the whole stuff, like I found the stuff with the dad and the mistress interesting and the baby that wasn't his. And then it's like, but that was just kind of like, it went nowhere. So that I think was my issue, is they kind of had these cool like premises, but like, and they had plenty of time. It was a short movie. It's only 80 minutes. Like they could have, but they didn't really go anywhere. It was just more of like, okay, she's running and stuff happens. And then it's like, it's over. And it's like I said, it's just kind of more style over substance for me.
Sure.
And that was what kind of bummed me out about it. I was like, oh, this wasn't.
Yeah, I don't get much more than, and the ending felt, very like, I'll say this, and I think this might be an interesting thing, because it is a lot of that, as they would say, the butterfly effect. You do one thing and it changes everything. And if you were to do it all over again, there's a lot of car accidents, a lot of people getting hit by cars hitting each other, cars that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's crazy about that, is like it almost felt like a too much. But then when I'm looking back on it, and maybe I'm just making random shit up at this point, but to me, it's always funny. We take car accidents, and that's what we always think of. Had I left 2 seconds earlier, that would never have happened, 2 seconds later, 2 seconds earlier. So I don't know if they meant for that. Obviously, with a smaller budget, there's a lot of just Lola running. But I found it funny with car accidents. Like they just did so many of them. And that's what we always kind of look at, is like,
right. And for something like a car accident, I could see that like your life veers off, but I just didn't understand some of these things, like the way she passed a woman in the hallway. All of a sudden, the woman's life it then goes in this like veering off into wildly different directions, and it was like, at the time, I thought it was cool, but now I'm just sort of like, what? Why? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point?
And there's a lot going on with people. The dad's leaving all of a sudden. Yeah, there was a lot of that, and of course the whole gambling, like her screaming, and
I think that was like a metaphor for like she's like, I'm gonna change the reality, like I'm gonna change my life. I would change the situation I'm in, and like will it to be so. It was something like that about like taking charge of your own life. I think. I don't know. That's my guess.
I, like rewatching, I was just like, it was so funny because I thought like when she got there, everybody's staring at her. Obviously, she looks crazy and weird. She's not the high society German people like that. And wins and all that stuff. It is kind of a fun little ending of how he gets finally gets the money back. But then there was that thing of the homeless man. Give me the like. Are German people that easily like? Why wouldn't you not just you're a homeless man with a gun now? Shoot him, take the money back.
Right. No, I was thinking the same thing. I was just sitting there the whole time when he's contemplating, like, if you're going to give him the gun, take the bullets out, take the bullets out, what are you doing?
Take the magazine out, take the Rex round out of the clip. Like, do something here to make sure you can run away fairly easy.
But the guy that played the boyfriend, I looked him up on IMDb. I swear I've seen him before, other than this movie. Has he? But I didn't.
I don't
recognize.
know. I didn't look it
so
up. I mean,
familiar.
I'll throw up an IMDb and maybe we'll find something in the edit.
everything I saw, like I was like, yeah, I don't know any of that stuff, but he looks like I've seen him in something else before besides this movie. But maybe it's just I just recognize him from this movie. I don't know.
Possibly. Well, look, I mean, I think it was fun rewatching it too and seeing it. And yeah, like you said, we both feel like it's a little underwhelming now, but I still love it. It's still a fun little movie. So
it's a fun ride for sure. And I think at that time, I mean, it is like when you put the different like lens on now versus then. At that time, that was pretty groundbreaking. Like that, like there wasn't a lot of stuff like that, and it was pretty. Like,
nowadays with YouTube and the fast, quick pace of every movie and TikToks and this and that, I don't think a 20-year-old could watch. They'd be like, "Why is this so slow?" You know.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, and it was just weird because at the time I thought it just felt so like frenetic and like just crazy, and this time around it's like, oh, another shot of her running. Can we move this along, please? It was just like it got boring.
I did read something, I did read something, and I was like, "Oh, okay, good for you." Like she was a rabid smoker, Franca Potente, or like,
wow,
like, and it's just like, But I guess, hey, she was very youthful at that time, so.
Hey, when you're like 20, you could smoke a pack a day and it's fine. And if you're worried about is it like the movie Run Lola Run she does run a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that. So you
Absolutely.
won't be disappointed.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Back in 99. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, throw us a comment. That'd be awesome. And we'll see you again on the next episode of Back in 99. Later.
Gotta hum in the theme song.